Hello everyone and welcome to the first update of the BNSF Madison subdivision in HO scale. As the name implies, this is based off of BNSF's Madison subdivision, which is about a 45-mile long branch line that runs northwest out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota to Madison, South Dakota. The era will be the mid-2000s, so 2005 or so. And I'm modeling portions of the entire line all the way from Sioux Falls up into the end of the line at Madison. So I'll go, we can see I've got the framing of the basic layout done. I haven't attached the staging yard yet. I've got to add the rest of the risers for the backdrop before I can do that. But I'll sort of walk through what areas will be here. Starting over here, trains will come in from staging here on the staging yard, come across and be bolted back here, but I need to put in the risers, like I had said, for the backdrop. We start off, and here we're in North Sioux Falls, coming through an industrial park. In the industrial park, there will be West Rock Paper, which is a paper warehouse that gets boxed cars. Millennium Recycling will be over in here, which is a scrap yard. And then Springer Lumber will be up in here, which is a lumber yard that gets both box cars and center beam flat cars of lumber. I'm continuing around. We'll leave the industrial park about here and go through some rural running, some likely cornfields or some sort of agricultural field in here. Coming over into this corner, we'll be at Dakota Ethanol, which will be built based on the real Dakota Ethanol facility near Wentworth, South Dakota. So it'll have 2 tracks and hold a reasonable number of cars. I think it'd be able to take, 8 cars or so at a time, and it'll do both ethanol tankers and DDG, dried distillers grain, hopper cars. Continuing around, we'll have more general rural scenery as we continue toward Madison, all throughout this area. Continuing. Then over here, we get to the east side of Madison. Most of the layout's going to be built on 2-inch foam board, so I can carve ditches and areas lower than the track into it. But for the town of Madison itself, it's going to be just on plywood because I don't need too much vertical scenery below the track. But coming into Madison, we'll have a siding where trains can run around the cars, a grain elevator, and a propane dealer, just like Madison actually has. The runaround track will be long enough that I think I should be able to get about a 10-car grain train in here. I've got a solid set of the matched BNSF earthworm hoppers that I can use for that. As far as the operations on the layout, as I already mentioned, I'll be loading shuttle trains at the elevator here in Madison. Additionally, there's the Cyclone Local, which runs from Sioux Falls to Madison, and it works the industries in Madison, so the grain elevator and the propane place, and it appears there's a warehouse in Madison that has doors up to the tracks also. So I will try to figure out if they actually received any cars during my time period and look into modeling that. The Cyclone will also work Dakota Ethanol out at Wentworth. Then the other train that'll run will be the Sioux Falls Airport Switcher, which will run from the staging yard out to the industrial park to switch the industries there, just like the actual Sioux Falls Switcher. I wish I had enough place to put in staging for the Dakota and Iowa, because they run part of the Madison subdivision, but unfortunately I don't have enough room to put a place for those trains to leave the line in. So that's a general overview of the layout. I'll put a link to the Facebook page and the track plan in the description. So obviously this means that I took down the BC Rail TACLA layout that I was briefly working on. And we decided that we were going to stay in this house for a while longer, so I wanted to build something that wouldn't be quite as easy to transport, but would offer a lot more in the way of operations. So all this framing is just what I put together this weekend. Next weekend, I'm hoping to get the backdrops up and get the first layer of insulation foam down. And if I'm lucky, I hope to have the track laid and wired so that I can actually start running trains by the end of October. So that pretty well sums it up. Again, I'll put a link to the Facebook page and the track plan in this description, and thanks for watching.